a belated Merry Christmas, but I think we already said that. But Happy New Year's.
Thank you.
Yeah. 2025, JB. Did you think when you were just a.
Still alive.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I could be talking to you from the moon for all for everything that's happened in the world recently. But did you ever think growing up a scrappy kid on Chicago's South Side that you'd see the year 2025?
Well, you never know.
Yeah, well, I
I
mean,
don't think
I mean,
I don't think about the future too much.
yeah.
I did. I am, but I am here. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you were born a Buddhist then. I guess. I mean, you never really. I mean,
I
you
wasn't born to be a Buddhist, but I became one. Yeah.
right. But I mean, like, I'm always curious because I was going to talk to you about, like just some futuristic stuff today. I was thinking about it, but I mean, you were always centered. You never thought, about like 5, 10 years down the road, what your life or what life would be like for humanity.
Once in a great while, I would do it, but it's nothing I would. What's the word I'm looking at? I wouldn't stay on it. It was something I didn't do much.
Yeah, you wouldn't dwell on it.
No.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's where it's like I really like Ray Bradbury and all those. I didn't really read. Did you read any of his stuff or?
Not too much of those guys. No.
Yeah, because it was too. I mean, it's far out stuff. I mean, that's where your sister, like, I mean, that we were totally different because I love watching science fiction. I love watching what could be. Especially later on in her life, like we'd go see these, really far out movies, maybe, like towards the end when movies were still relatively popular. And she just couldn't fathom it. Like that, like the whole fact that aliens, why, how we humans turn them into characterizations of humans, right? We don't know if there is life outside of us, outside of what's on this planet. I mean, it can look like anything. It could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be, right. I mean, And she just couldn't wrap her brain around it. She thought, it's just like, so I don't know. But no, I always have respect for people who put it out. They're considered strange. Ray Bradbury, Walt Disney, people, of that ilk are considered nutty because they just don't, they create things, right? They think what could be.
Yeah,
Um,
they create a little bit, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I didn't give a lot to it, because it wasn't real.
right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that, I'm happy to be back at a school structure, live, face to face, because I knew this was going to happen, especially after the virus years where everything was just online, coaching, consulting, right, teaching, everything, to where they have now AI, like these AI robots, where if you want to practice a language, I mean, it's almost real time, Jay. You're speaking, you're practicing with a fake
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's still like there's still some online work, but it's become so saturated in the pay. It's just become abysmally. I think it's great, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous of what the first time I think ever that I've been nervous about humanity's future with work. Again, we've talked about it, where I think I don't know. We're gonna have to, as the leaders, everybody's gonna have to reevaluate work and labor because technology, I think, is just gonna replace more and more
Yeah.
people.
It'll be easier to do, for us.
Well, right. I mean, you look at your industry. I mean, it's going to be self-driving cars here eventually. They're already doing it.
Yeah.
So where you just you either or the Uber is going to be self-driving or your car is going to be self-driving. So even if you've been drinking, you're not driving, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the whole. It's a game changer. All of this technology. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, anything planned? Are you gonna go party in Michigan Avenue tonight?
No, not really.
What I'm they should I think they should at least pass around a glass of sparkling cider at midnight for all the residents.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's the difference between you and me, man, is that you don't you haven't desired one drop of alcohol in 3 years.
Oh, what's that again? What?
You haven't desired one drop of alcohol in 3 years.
Yeah, yeah. Not much, no.
Yeah, see, I'd be telling Sylvie and Lynn to bring in, I'd have a kegerator. I'd have a beer keg right next to my bed. I mean, God, that's amazing. I can go. There's some guys, it's like, you drink. That's the expats when you're abroad. That's how we all become friends because we're the Asians. I hope Tyler doesn't have my Irish, Germanic tomb genes of drinking. But I don't think it's an Asian trait. I mean, they do drink. Don't get me wrong. Asians, there's drinkers everywhere in the world, but they don't have that they don't have that Taiwan on mentality. Like I think they can drink like 5 or 6 and call it quits. To where drinking with Brits, Americans, and Irish, oh my! I mean, it's all over. 6 turns into 10, and 10 turns into 12, and you don't remember how you got back to your hotel, right, or your place. Um, yeah, I think that's a genetic trait. But yeah, so I don't. But see, some guys can drink every day, and they can have 2 or 3 or 4. Right? Like I've got friends who will after work or after teaching whatever, they'll go to the pub and have 2 or 3 or 4 and then call it a day. Now I don't feel that need, but I'll go out once a week, but then after 3 or 4 it turns into 6 or 7 or 8, right? And then I'm out later and then it hits me, and then I just don't drink again. It's I guess it's binge drinking. Is that what they call it, or?
Well, I don't know. It's different. Some do it that way, some do it whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, in your studies, I mean, there's no doubt in alcohol, the younger generation doesn't drink as much, but they do these weird drugs, I guess. The younger generation do these chemical-based drugs, which are horrible for you, obviously. I mean, liquor's not good. It dries your insides, right? It dries you out. I get that. But did you is that what is there a I remember I'd asked you that, and you said you used to have a thimble of whiskey at night, and that was supposed to help your arteries, right? I mean, is there a level is binge drinking bad as opposed to having 2 or 3 a day, health wise, or?
I don't know. If it feels good, and you don't overdo it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I just like the taste of beer. I mean, it's like if it's a good beer like barley and hops,
Yeah.
I feel it's more natural than some of these laboratory made drugs that these kids are taking, right? These
Yeah.
synthetic
sure.
drugs. Yeah. So, and that I've asked you that before, but what's your take on big pharma, right? In the States, it's definitely more prevalent. I found, living here in Asia, they have pharmacies where you can just go in and you can get whatever you need, Jay. It's kind of like Canada's system. Well, I'm overreaching with that, but I mean, you can go in and you can say, I need this particular cholesterol reducing drug, and you can get it without a prescription.
Yeah.
So that's why I think, the West, we're just so big pharma, big pharmacy stock and like companies. But I mean, have you ever given it much thought? But I mean, you never were able to get over here to see the
Well,
difference.
it's true. It has a lot to do with the doctors. They
Yeah,
like their they like to they have their hands in it.
right.
And they should be, but a little bit. But they like their take. They like to take their presentation
Yeah,
perception.
their position. Yeah. I mean, do you think that Western medicine, which was like supposedly the inventor of the Hippocratic Oath, right? Do no harm, right? And treat everybody equally, treat every patient. Do you think because of lawsuits and because we've become such a industrialized, we don't produce anything anymore besides lawsuits and all of this, do you think we've doctors have lost their way more than the Asian in other countries because they're so worried about getting sued and then make
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little
yeah
bit. Yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah yeah. I mean, I keep thinking about, I'm coming up on 50. I keep thinking about it. I mean, I was at one of my friends or something. We went into I think it was a friend of his. I don't know. We were just like, this was the other day here, and the grandparents were there. They had to be as old or older than you, right? Rather immobile, but I mean, still lovely people. These two Thais, and they, the windows are open. They had the bed to sit down in the ground floor. They couldn't get up the steps. It just popped in there for a minute, but I assessed it pretty quickly. And I'm like, I'm sure that it's a larger family, so they got other family. They can all take turns, looking out for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, here it is. You're in Chiang Mai. Windows are open. Beautiful weather, 24/7. Where your care and definitely, and Carrie, your sister. I mean, it's thousands and thousands a month, right? I mean, no, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I don't, and they have it was a nice house that we popped into. But I mean, it's just, how would you rather go out? It's like, I mean, you got phenomenal care, and so does Carrie, obviously. But does it equate the price and the value, right? Like, yeah.
It is what it is.
No, I know. It's totally. I wish you would, come to. Well, it's particularly Southeast Asia. It's just a magnificent place. It truly is. But yeah, it's just night and day difference with our healthcare, the way we, the way they like. I've never seen. There's hardly any fights. Like fighting is just so. I mean, there are obviously people get upset, but I've seen guys, getting little like full on. A car will hit a moped, right? We're in Chicago, right, Jay? I mean, the guy's coming out with a gun, or he's just gonna, beat the if he's able to walk, he's just gonna beat the driver to a pulp. And here it's, oh, Sawadee cop, like, like it's like they give each other a hug. I mean, it's just like, it's just a totally different vibe, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like we're just, and I try to justify it that, we were a nation built on war. The white settlers came, and then we got in a fight with the Native Americans, and then the British came. We won our independence with battling, with fighting. I just feel like America, we're just angry people. The minute I get off the flight in San Francisco or LA or to make the connection, I mean, it's like, you see, and then now the border agents, like, they have sometimes carry around two weapons. They've got three. They've got the machine gun, they've got the pistol, and then they got a pepper spray or a taser. And it's like it's amazing. And then you're just waiting for somebody to pop off, like what you want or something. Like I mean, it's like, well, I just want my flight. Like I'm like, it's just amazing, totally different. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't mind, I mean, I love, I'm still an American born, but I wouldn't, it's like to see this and to see the peace and tranquility every day. It's, um, it's quite different. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just, it's just the anger, and then especially when, God, when we have the presidential elections for those at least 6 months, it's fucking nuttiness. It's absolute nuttiness. So anyway, yeah. What do you anticipate for? Well, you're a day behind us, right? So you've got another day for New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's morning. It's the 31st for us over here. So it's 9. It's morning time, my time here. So one of my friends got back. He teaches. He's a retired pensioner. I call him my baby uncle. He's about 72. I met him. I met two. They're ironically both Welshmen, both born Welshmen. One then moved to Australia, but they both worked for the Commonwealth system, teaching for 25, whatever, to 30 years, like Carrie. And then their second career, was teaching abroad, right? To experience that. So they're quite interesting guys. Math teachers, math, right? They use it with the S, maths, right? The British. And it's funny. I tell them that was my least favorite subject, but they're all right guys. So I I hang out with them once in a while. So we'll see what they're doing tonight. I don't know if I have the power to stay up till midnight, but there's a lot of festivities. I'll send you this link of what's going on here in Chiang Mai. It's funny. Do you remember Time Out magazine, Jay?
What is it? Kind out?
Time Out. It was a Chicago-based magazine for a while, and they used to print it. It was called Time Out.
No.
Okay, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think it originated in Chicago, and then it caught on with L.A. and New York. But it's online now. Now they've got it for everywhere, and they just have an editor, like a writer editor for each city. That would be I wonder how much this guy gets paid. But so they have one for Chiang Mai. So I'll send you what's happening here in Chiang Mai for New Year's. So. All right, man. Yeah. Anything else new or?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, your speech after the thrombosis is 90. I wonder if what's the. I mean, it's like 98%. Your speech, right? It got back to almost 100.
I guess I really don't remember that whole.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened, but that's
Yeah.
what they say it happened.
Yeah, I wonder what's the recovery, like the full, the odds on a full. But I mean, once in a while I hear you'll stumble, but you're 98%. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, yeah. Give my best to. I'll find out in the next couple months. Once I hopefully get my Thai visa here. And then I'll try to make plans to come to Chicago for at least a couple weeks again for the summer.
Great.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, Happy New Year. I'll give you a call on the New Year's.
Same.
All right. All right. Love you, man. Take care, JB. All right.
Okay.
Bye bye. Love you, man. Bye bye. Bye bye.